Today in the kitchen, we are going to be trying out a Cuisinart air fryer. And this air fryer, I've been looking forward to it and waiting for it to come. And the wings are ready. We've got them all prepped and ready to go. We're going to be ready to dust them in a little extra flour, and we're going to place them into the air fryer and see what happens. I'm so looking forward to doing that with you right here. Now, if you have not subscribed before we get started with dinner, please take a moment, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and give me a thumbs up. And I'm not going to even ask you to give a thumbs up until the very end. You can wait till you finish, and if you like it, then certainly do that. But come back to the kitchen, because in this kitchen, we decorate. We make wreaths and centerpieces and all kinds of things that are fun to have right here in the kitchen and that will make you smile. We also talk about family and how we love on our family and we love God, because my motto is that in this house, the house of Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme, that we work hard, we love God and family, and we know without a doubt that everything else is just gravy. So don't get caught up on the small stuff. Come back to the kitchen and take a look at what we're doing. So I look forward to having you right here in my house. Well, today we're having a good time in the kitchen, and we've been kind of piddling around doing all kinds of stuff. But I want you to see, I have a new Cuisinart air fryer, and I haven't had an air fryer before, and I held out because of the fact that I have a convection oven, and I figured they both do the same thing. But I had a little extra birthday money, and I thought, okay, well, I'll try it out and see what I think. And if it's pretty good and it lasts quite a while, I'll be very happy. And I got the perfect size for the big guy and I, and if push comes to shove and I need something larger, I can always go to the oven, if I really need something big. But this is going to be perfect for what we're going to be doing. So I'll let you see what I cooked tonight. Well, you know what? We're going to be using this air fryer today. This is a new air fryer that I got for my birthday, and I'm looking forward to trying it out. And I'm going to let you be a part of it and tell me what you think. We're going to work on those house wings tonight. So we're going to air fry the hot wings right here in the kitchen. This particular air fryer is a smaller version of the Cuisinart line of air fryers. As you can see, it has two dials. One dial is for the timer, and the other is for the temperature that you're setting. The directions are very simple, and what I've found to be the most special is inside of the actual Cuisinart fryer itself. There is a drip pan, and the drip pan cleans very easily, but what I thought I would do was to put foil on it to make that cleanup even faster, and I can tell you that worked. I also, the basket that goes over that drip pan, I had oiled, and you can either use a spray oil. I didn't have any spray oil, so I just took some cooking oil and just rubbed it on the surface. Now what that did wasn't for the purpose so much of the wings themselves frying. It was strictly for the purpose of releasing whatever may stick to the basket while those wings were frying. Now at the end, what I was able to do was to sit both of those pieces, both the drip pan as well as the basket, into a sink of hot soapy water. Give it about 10 minutes. I took a soft pad and just wiped the residue away. Now, the basket took a little more effort than the drip pan, obviously, because we could cover that with the foil. And in fact, just a 5-second job for the drip pan, because literally you just fold up that foil and it's gone. But with the actual basket that the chicken wings laid in, I had to be a little more careful with and really do a little bit of scrubbing, because while most of it released very easily, some of the residue was a little more stubborn and took a little longer to get off. But you know what? I had about 10 chicken wings, full-size chicken wings, and I was able to get all of them into the basket. They all cooked perfectly, and the only thing I had to do was just to adjust the time. And I would think, depending on what you're preparing, you'd probably have to adjust the time no matter what. So your setting that you would normally use on your regular oven was pretty much the same setting that I used for the Cuisinart. For these chicken wings, I had set it initially on 375 for about 20 minutes. At about 15 minutes, I actually checked them to see how they were doing. So I would give this particular unit a thumbs up. It is perfect. If you have a larger family, then obviously you're going to need the larger variety. But for a family of 4 or less, this is a good buy, a really good buy. And I've listed it down in my cart below in my description box, so that you have a link for being able to get it very quickly. Now, so you can see in the bottom, I have the drip pan, and I'm going to place some foil on my drip pan. That's just going to add to getting a fast cleanup, and where I can just pick it up and toss it out. So I'm taking care of that, making sure my edges are good. And it's my understanding that's not a problem. People use it all the time. So I'm putting my foil around the edge. Okay, so I've got my foil. Here's my basket. And these have not been used before, so I'm putting the basket here. Now, what I think I'm going to do is to take a paper towel, and I am just going to drizzle a little bit of grapeseed oil on the paper towel, just a little. And what I'm going to do with it, I'm kind of treat it like you do when you're going to grill, and I'm just going to take it and rub it over the surface of the pan. And that will help to kind of coat it so that things are less likely to stick. So there we go. That part of it is ready. And we're just going to sit this right here because we're going to put the chicken wings in there. Okay? Now, you know, we put these wings together the other day, and we've had them marinating in the refrigerator. And I am going to get ready to remove them. I'm not sure how many of these wings will fit into the basket, so that part we'll have to work out, since this is the first time I've done them in this basket. So I'm going to just add a little bit of something to it, and then we'll be ready to go. Okay, this part's gonna get zipped up, and that part is done. I was able to get all of the wings in there, and now we are going to set our temperature on, I'm gonna put it on 350, just a little bit above 350 for, we're gonna start it at 20 minutes. I'll see where it is and then see how much longer it needs. So 20 minutes. And let's put these in. Alrighty. So close it up. Put it on for 20 minutes. And there we go. We'll let it go. All right, I'll bring you back in 20. The day before, I started my chicken wing preparation. And that's a little bit about planning, knowing exactly what you have planned to do. So what I did, if you remember in my Kroger haul, I had divided the chicken wings, and one pack I kept and the other pack I put into the freezer. So with this pack, we're going to dress it up a bit. So you'll see that I have some flour, and I'm taking my flour and I'm going to sprinkle in some flour into this bowl, and I'm going to make up a kind of a batter that I'm going to let these wings rest in overnight. So I'm putting in, and this is just a tablespoon that I'm putting in. So I've got about 5 tablespoons of flour that I'm putting in, and then I need to add an egg to it. So I'm taking 1 egg, tapping it on the side, and then breaking it into our flour. I'm also going to add some milk, and we're going to take that and just kind of whip it up. So we need milk, we're going to need some seasonings. So you'll see I start to break the egg up just so that it starts to get a little floury, and it just makes the mixing of it a little better in the end. So let's get some milk, and you know, we made house seasoning, so obviously house seasoning is definitely going to be a part of this. So you're going to, I didn't really measure because I wanted to look at the texture of the mixture. You're going to want it to look a little bit like pancake batter. That's really what you're making. Kind of, it looks like just a nice pancake batter. So we're going to add in enough milk. Now, if you get a little too much and it's a little watery, it's okay. It's okay. It will thicken up because remember, this is flour. So we're just mixing this up, giving it a really good stir, and just getting everything all incorporated. So whip, 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 and get that part ready. Now, you know, these chicken wings did not come seasoned, so we're going to need to take care of that as well, because if you're going to have them sitting overnight in a solution, after all, you must make sure that they taste good. So let's take a look at that. I'm going to put in some seasoning, and I was going to grab those that I had, thinking I had my house seasoning right there, but I didn't. So we're going to sprinkle in, and it looks like a lot of house seasoning, when you're going to find out it really isn't. Once it gets into that flour and milk mixture, you're going to go, oh, okay, that wasn't so bad. And in fact, if I had it to do over again, I would have probably added just a little more salt, because that would have helped. So just think, you know, you can either sprinkle salt over your wings, which I did not do. I trusted my mixture, and so I'm going to take this and I'm going to open up my chicken, and I am going to pour it over the chicken. So let's get ready. I'm washing my hands, Try to make sure they're clean. We want everything nice and clean as we work, and then kind of cleaning up the surface, because the flour had a tendency to do a little splattering along the way, and putting some things away. So you have to clean as you go. So let's get those wings, and you know, we wiped off those surfaces early. So let's put our mixture in, and I'm just going to pour over the front, and then I'm going to flip it over and pour on the back side of those wings, and try to get as much of that mixture in as you possibly can. So I'm going to get all of that goodness in. Let's get it all. There we go, into our bag. And we're going to zip that up, and then we're going to massage that solution all over the chicken. So we got it zipped. Let's do a little wiping. Got to wipe up along the way, because you know, flour and chicken stuff. Let's get it clean. I don't know if you can see that dish rag, but it is a crocheted dish rag, our dish towel that I purchased through an organization that makes hats and those kind of things for people who have cancer. And they do an excellent job. I try to order from them at least 2 or 3 times a year, and get a couple of new ones. Sometimes I even give them away as gifts. So there's our chicken. It's in the mixture. I'm going to wipe it off one more time, and then I'll put it into the refrigerator. And I actually found a spot in the refrigerator that I could lay it flat, and that worked out great. Okay, let's work on the green beans. Now we've got onions and celery. I had some bacon left over from the morning's breakfast. I'm going to toss that in as well. And I'm going to let this just kind of get warm, and because it's a little early, I really don't want them to overcook. So I'm just making the broth itself, and adding in a few things. I'm taking down, I need a pinch of sugar, and of course we need some house seasoning, and this is actually a little pepperoncino, and just add a little pinch in. So I'm sprinkling a little bit in, but like I said, that is not to be hot. That is just to give you good flavor. So we want flavor. All right, so it is time to add the beans. And I'm using canned beans purposely. So those beans are going in. And I have a few more, so I'm going to put those in as well. And give them a stir. Now, remember, this heat is not on. I will turn it back up while the chicken wings are cooking. And that's the perfect, woo, can't talk today, the perfect amount of time to warm up the beans, because after all, they're canned beans, so they don't really need a long cook time. They just need to come up to temperature. But I'm going to let them sit here in this seasoned mixture so that when the time comes, they're going to be good. So here's our sugar, just a pinch. Just a little. I'm getting a ½ teaspoon, and that's all I'm going to sprinkle over it. Just do a little sprinkle. There we go. All right, so we've got everything in that pot. I'm going to stir one more time, put the top on it, and it is set. There we go. Oh, that's going to be so good. So let's get everybody down in the juice. Okay, now while we're waiting, we're just going to put together a tossed salad so that we'll have that with dinner. So I've rinsed off some iceberg lettuce. I know everybody doesn't like iceberg, but I do. I have gotten a little afraid, to be honest with you, of romaine, only because there's been so many problems with romaine over the past few years. I love it as far as eating it. I really like romaine, but there have been a lot of problems with E. coli, and so we opt to go with iceberg lettuce. So I am just breaking our lettuce up. I've taken a piece off the main head. I'm not sure if this will be enough, but we'll see. We've got quite a bit here. And by the time we get all the other fixings in, I think we'll be just fine. It's a beautiful day. Oh yeah, that's going to be good. All right, so we got our lettuce in. We are going to add some cucumber. This is an English cucumber. And I'm going to get it rinsed off. Now, the skin of the English cucumber is nice and tender. Now, I like cutting my cucumbers up. Sometimes I slice it, but for the most part, you know, I just think that's quite a mouthful. So I try to slice it into smaller parts. So that's what I'm doing. Taking those pieces and sprinkling them in. Trying to cut it at an angle so you get a nice cut. You can tell where I stopped with that slice. So I'm going to re-slice and keep our smaller pieces and just continue to cut. Okay, so there we go. Enough for two. Big guy likes a really big salad, and I like one that is reasonable, a little more reasonable in size. Okay, so cucumbers. I have some of these little peppers that I like to open those. They are very sweet, and I like a variety of colors. So I'm going to use one of each color. Give them a good rinse. And then let's cut them up. So I'm going to slice them down the middle and cut. I don't have a problem with the seeds. We're pretty good at that. I like a lot of texture in the salad, so we're just gonna get that cut up. And this kitchen smells good. I'll probably stop about halfway through the cooking time, just so we'll be able to see what the chicken's looking like. Okay, So there's our peppers. Let me get a tomato. Got some that were loose. And cut these into quarters. And then slice. Okay, 1, 2. Now these are little tomatoes on the vine in the clusters. I love those, and they always smell so good. These are very fresh. All right, so our tomatoes are on top where they should be. So the salad is ready for tonight. I'll save this part and we'll have it for another night. Put the lettuce up and we're good to go. I realized when I went in the refrigerator that I had boiled eggs, and I'm trying to think why I didn't peel them. I really should have peeled them. And I know they're going to give me a fit trying to get these peels off, but it is what it is, and we're going to slice them and put them into the salad. So if they aren't perfect, I'm not going to be totally bent out of shape, because I want it to, it's all about the flavor and the texture. So, okay, there's one egg. That did pretty good. That wasn't too bad. Normally, you would peel these before you refrigerate them. Don't ask me why I didn't. I try to tap them hard enough so they can loosen the skin around the egg. So let's get this done. Okay, there we go. Almost done. Woo-hoo. All right. Now, let's get our slicer. And we're going to push. And we're going to give it one more time to crumble. There we go. There's one. And one more. One. And one more time. There we go. There, eggs are ready. That's it. There we go. I'm going to add black pepper to this. And I'll let the big guy decide whatever dressing he wants on his salad. So we're going to clean up, get things rinsed off, and I'm going to check on our chicken wings because we do not want them burned, do we? Whew. All right, good job. Now, you know, I started the green beans earlier today, so I am, they've just been kind of sitting here getting happy with the flavors, but I'm going to bring them up so they can start to really get hot. And tonight I'm using my canned green beans just because I had some that I needed to go ahead and use before they expired. And you know, when you're buying canned goods, you know, we've been doing a lot of extra buying just in case. And so make sure that you kind of pull those things that their expiration date is getting close. Make sure you bring those to the front and make sure you use them so that you're not actually throwing things, throwing good food away. So we're going to use some canned beans tonight, and you've seen how I got it started, and so I'll let you see it once it's finished. Okay? All right, I'm going to put the top on it because I want it to come up to temperature pretty quick. In the meantime, we're going to work on some house chicken wings. Turning you around so you can see the chicken. And let me get a better towel because I want to be able to pull this tray out without burning myself. So let's see how we're going to do that. I probably should have wiped these off. Okay. I'll take this and just pull forward. Now you see they're nice and golden, but I have a feeling they're not done. So I'm going to flip these. You can see the ones in the back are more done than the ones in the front. All right, so I'm going to turn them over. Let's get them turned over because as you can see, they are not brown on the bottom. So we're going to flip them. Put them on the pan. Got them flipped. Okay, that one's in pretty good shape. He just needs a little browning. This one's pretty good. And this one, oh, that's good. It came off pretty well. So putting that oil down was very helpful because it's allowed the chicken wings to come off easily. Okay, now I'm just going to scoot these around a little more, get everybody in the basket. There we go. There we go. Now, I'm going to keep it where it is. Around 350, turn it down a little bit. Click it back up. Give it about another 10 minutes and see what that does. So it's been in almost 20 minutes on about it was about 375. So I turned it down to 350 because the main thing is I want them done. So much. I want them brown, but I want them done. Tongs here, and you can see I flipped them over to the other side, and they look marvelous. So I am going to, my green beans are ready to go. I'm going to cut them off because they're good to go. I'm going to take a pan out from the oven, and while I'm not going to turn it on, I'm going to take the wings out and sit them on that pan. There we go. Don't those look, let's see if I can get you in there. Don't they look beautiful? They are. This is the way to go, guys. No deep frying. Just that little bit of oil that I wiped on the surface to kind of keep it from sticking. And I'm going to bring you in a little closer in just a little while. Okay? So I'm taking this over here. And I'm going to also move you so you can see. Okay, can you see those wings? Aren't they pretty? They look Beautiful. Now, let's see if I can get one, because they are hot. And I'm going to grab just a little bit. I love those little chicken wing tips. Everybody takes them off, but I like them. Now, since they're just coming out, sprinkle them with just a little salt, Himalayan. Okay? And they are good to go. Oh my gosh. They're delicious. I like that. Oh man. Whew, can you see how hot that is? And they're done. No pink. Should not be any. We actually let these go a little extra because, number one, we did want them to be done. But number two, I turned it lower because I wanted it to cook. Yummy. Now, hold on a second. Okay, I wanted to see if you could just, these are good. Really good. I'm taking a look at mine, and they're hot. They're so good. So guys, remember I did a little light batter earlier, and let them marinate in those flavors. Oh yeah, baby. This is good. And these are delicious. But man, they're hot. Well, it's going to be a little while before we have dinner. I'm not going to promise you, but I will try to get a shot of the plate. But you know what we're having. Chicken wings, green beans, and a salad. That's an easy one. But these wangies and that Cuisinart air fryer are absolutely delicious. Yummy. You know, guys, I am so glad that you have been with me right here in the kitchen today. I hope that you will come back. We're going to start doing a few things a little different. We're right here at home, staying at home unless we just absolutely have to go out. Now, if you're an essential person, or if you're in one of those states where if you're not quite essential, or considered to be, you're essential to us, but you're not quite essential out there as far as what you're doing, and you're branching out a little bit to try to get back to your new normal, please make sure that you go out with your mask and your gloves so that you can be protected. Now, have a good time this week. Certainly stop by each evening and see what's going on right here in the kitchen. So, blessings to you and yours, and I'll see you back here tomorrow in the kitchen.